Welcome back. A new NBC News survey finds a whopping 74% of voters say they think the United States is on the wrong track. Only 20% think the country is heading in the right direction. These numbers keep getting worse. Liz Peek, your reaction.
Maria, this is obviously very alarming for Democrats, and it should be especially alarming considering that so far the jobs market, as we just discussed, has held up very well. Normally, these kinds of readings attach to an incredibly poor economy. That's not the case right now. So if the economy begins to slow down in the next couple of quarters, which the majority of economists are anticipating, I think these numbers just get worse. But let's also agree that the polling on abortion policy is still very negative for Republicans. So this is not going to be a slam dunk 2024 election. Just as the midterms turned out disappointing, I think Republicans have to steel themselves that this is not going to be easy.
Yeah, and that's what Nancy Pelosi said in an interview this weekend, that the Democrats should go all in on abortion. That's the weak spot for Republicans, Liz. You're right on.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Republicans have to have a message on this. The candidate that we run has to have a message that is inclusive and that basically allows women across the country to vote for Republican. This is a very big deal.
Yeah, for sure. Gerry, the other big deal is the economy. And, you know, while we are looking at inflation way down from the highs, obviously at 4%, down from the 9.1% we saw a year ago, we still wonder what the impact of 10 rate hikes will be. Because, Gerry, the expectation is that it takes 12 months to 18 months to actually feel the full impact. So we don't know where this economy is going at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Liz. The economy could be about to get worse, and that would be even worse for the incumbent president, Joe Biden. But I would say one other thing, and I also agree with Liz, that this is far from resolved, this election, because that very same poll, very same poll, Maria, that shows 74% of people think the country's on the wrong track. Joe Biden's approval ratings at 43% in the tank. Show all those negative numbers for Joe Biden. That same poll shows him beating Donald Trump in the presidential election by 49 to 45%. Now, the problem we have right now in this country is that the two parties seem to be absolutely on track to renominate the same candidates who fought the last election in 2020. And the majority of people in this country want somebody else. That same poll shows that 60% of people think that Joe Biden is not fit to be president, and they have real concerns about Joe Biden being re-elected president. 58% have real concerns about Donald Trump being president again. And yet we have these two parties. The primary voters in those two parties' primary elections are going to vote for those same two candidates, even when a majority of the country doesn't want either of them.
Yeah, and even while, by the way, the Republicans are talking about potentially drawing up impeachment articles for Joe Biden in the middle of this. We don't know where we'll be next year at this time going into the election. Will it be Joe? Will it be Kamala? We don't know.
Right, exactly. And, you know, there are a lot of, we're still very early days. I mean, although actually we are just over a year from the first votes being cast. It's remarkable,
That's
Maria.
right.
You know, you think about that, voting starts in September now of election year in many of these states. So we are just over a year, but we've got all the primary process to go through. As Liz says, we've got these, and you say we've got these economic uncertainties to go through. But it just feels right now at the moment that the country is kind of locked once again into this sort of grudge match repeat of 2020, which a lot of people just don't want.
It's amazing, Liz.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why No Labels, this group that's talking about fielding a centrist slate, actually has some traction. That's why Democrats are attacking them so viciously, because actually there is an appetite for a change here. And I think the entire country is saying, wait a minute, we're not going to do this again. But we might be about to do this again. I don't think people are very happy about that.
Yeah, we might be doing this again. And we are also seeing competition on the Democrat side. Even though the leadership there does not want any debating, RFK Jr. moving higher.